Have you ever wondered what it actually takes to build real wealth? I'm willing to bet it's not what you see on Instagram or in the movies. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the surprisingly quiet, almost hidden habits of the typical millionaire. And trust me, the truth is probably not what you think.
All right, so first things first. Before we can get to the truth, we have to tear down a massive myth, the flashy, loud stereotype of what a millionaire looks and acts like. Seriously, just for a second, picture it. When I say millionaire, what's the first image that pops into your head? Is it a shiny supercar, a sprawling mansion on a hill, designer logos everywhere? For decades, the media has been feeding us this very specific and very loud picture of what wealth is supposed to be. Yeah, we're constantly sold this myth of a super high consumption lifestyle. But the reality for most millionaires, it's a whole lot quieter. We're talking about a modest home that's probably paid off, a reliable used car that just gets them from A to B, and, this is the most important part, the assets you don't see. The stocks, the bonds, the investments, things that are quietly growing in value, not losing it the second you drive them off the lot.
So, if they're not the ones in the Lamborghinis, then who are these people? Well, they're the everyday hidden millionaires. You know, the millionaire next door. It could honestly be your neighbor, that quiet person at work, or the friendly face you see at the grocery store every week. They're hiding in plain sight.
And get this, a staggering 88% of millionaires are self-made. Just let that sink in for a minute. For the vast majority, wealth isn't about some lucky lottery ticket or a massive inheritance. It's the result of a process, a system that can be repeated. It proves that building wealth isn't just for a chosen few. It's actually an achievable goal. You know, there is actually a name for this whole philosophy, this core idea that makes it all possible. It's called stealth wealth. And it's really just the simple but incredibly powerful practice of having a high net worth without feeling the need to show it off. It's choosing financial substance over social status. This right here, this is the secret sauce.
Okay, so that's the what. Now for the how. How do they actually do it? Well, it all comes down to a really clear blueprint. So let's break down the 7 quiet habits that literally form the foundation of their financial success. And here's the thing, it's not 1,000 complicated rules. It's not some advanced financial wizardry. Their entire financial engine, the thing that builds their wealth, really just rests on these 7 foundational habits.
All right, habit number 1. This is the bedrock. This is the non-negotiable foundation that everything else is built on. They live well below their means. And listen, this isn't about being cheap or depriving yourself. It's about being intentional. It's about creating a gap, a surplus between what you earn and what you spend. That gap, that becomes your most powerful tool for building wealth. So habit 2 really gets to the why behind it all. Why are they so diligent about saving and investing? It's because their number one goal is financial independence. It's the freedom to choose how they spend their time. They're playing a totally different game than someone who's just trying to impress their friends with the newest gadget or a fancier car. Okay, this is the real test, right? What happens when they get a big raise or a nice bonus? This is where true discipline shines. They avoid what's called lifestyle inflation. So instead of immediately upgrading their house or their car just because they can, they keep their standard of living pretty much the same, and they invest the difference. That, right there, is how you pour gasoline on your wealth-building fire. I love this quote. It perfectly captures the whole idea of stealth wealth. True, lasting wealth isn't about what you can show off. It's the financial security that you built with all the purchases you didn't make. It's like having a silent army of dollars working for you 24/7 in your investment accounts. Now, this habit is just brilliant because it takes willpower and emotion completely out of the picture. They build systems. Every single month, like clockwork, money is automatically transferred from their paycheck to their savings, to their retirement accounts, to their investments. They're building wealth consistently in the background without even having to think about it. This is a big one. They don't just earn money, they make it a point to understand it. They treat their personal finances with the same seriousness a professional treats their career. And that means a real commitment to lifelong learning. They're reading the books, they're listening to the experts, they're making sure they understand things like compound interest and how to allocate their assets. They are forever students. You know, this next factor is so often overlooked, but it is absolutely fundamentally critical. You can have all the right habits in the world, but if your partner isn't on the same financial page, it's like trying to paddle a canoe while they're paddling in the exact opposite direction. You're just going to spin in circles. Having shared values and goals around money is a massive, massive accelerator for building wealth together.
And the final habit really comes down to a huge mindset shift. For a lot of people, the word budget feels like a restriction, right? Like a financial straitjacket. But the Millionaire Next Door, they see it as a tool for freedom. A budget is simply a plan for your money. It's a roadmap that tells your money where to go so you can achieve your goals even faster.
So there you have it, the 7-habit blueprint. The real question is, what do we do with this information? How do you turn all this knowledge into actual action? If you only walk away with a few things today, let it be these 3 core ideas. First, always choose long-term discipline over that short-term desire. Second, remember that real wealth is silent. It doesn't need to shout. And finally, and maybe most importantly, time is your greatest ally. The sooner you start, even with a little, the more powerful your efforts will become. So I'll leave you with this one question. You don't have to tackle all 7 of these habits tomorrow, but what is one small, quiet change you can make today? Could you automate a tiny transfer to your savings account? Or maybe just borrow one book about finance from the library? Just pick one and start building your own quiet blueprint. Thanks for joining this explainer.